always talk about things that we fight about, okay, or we fight against, like abuse of women or racism or insufficient opportunities for women. So we spend a lot of anger leaving ourselves, when actually I think we should be looking inside and being confident of ourselves and loving ourselves. And my philosophy is, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to make other people love you? Yeah, so when things are really bad and really down and people start attacking you, you have to ask yourself, who is the most important person in your life? I mean, apart from your family and parents. It's, of course, yourself, and you need to look in the mirror and say, good morning, you're amazing. And I think that the more you tell yourself good things, the more good things happen. So it's all about positivity, confidence, your own successes. Believing in yourself is really, really important. And I think that's really the basic truth, that you need to love yourself and believe in yourself. Then only you can love other people.
Has your relationship with yourself changed as you've grown into the woman you are today?
Yes, I think so. I think when I was younger, I had less confidence. I was more insecure. I was always trying to be maybe somebody I wasn't, or maybe I was worried about people attacking me, and so especially being in the public eye, okay, you can choose to read everything is written about you, or you can choose to read nothing, and not always good. So, for example, when I was singing, when I did my second album, there were some bad reviews. Not all bad reviews, but there were one or two. And those were the ones that really got me. I was so affected by anything negative. So then I said, okay, I'm going to give up. I'm not going to sing anymore, which actually was wrong. And then when you go out and you're in the public eye, people want your autograph, people want to take photographs, and it's really annoying. My family refused to go shopping with me because they can't stand all these people stopping me. And then as I got older, and then I ride on my successes, so I'm more confident. And I know people began to be nervous about approaching me, whereas before I was their property. But after I became bigger, and people use the word legend, then they are more hesitant, they're more respectful, and then I can say no. Yeah, so that I enjoyed that. So that's the difference really, is having lived a full life and done so many things and been successful, I can now not be so upset about people saying bad things. Also, I think as you mature, you realize that you can't please everybody. And there will always be people that don't like you. So you choose the people that like you to be with, right? Don't waste your time on people that don't like you. See?
Something that you said and is interesting nowadays world is even worse, is because during your time, people writing bad things was maybe newspapers,
yes,
TV.
Yes,
so
yes.
Not really every day like
yes.
today.
Yes, oh yeah.
Today I think it's important to know how to value ourselves a bit differently than, for the young generation, because...
Thank God there was no social media then. Can you imagine? Oh!
That's why I think it's important to remind the young one to
yes.
love themselves.
It's quite serious, in terms of mental health for young people, especially people who go on social media because they want to be liked, because they want to be popular, and then people start attacking them, and then it really shakes them. And young people, they haven't developed to a point where they're strong enough or confident enough in themselves. They're always seeking this approval all the time, approval. And when people don't approve, it can be very self-destroying. And you read so much about it now. Young people reacting very badly to negative comments or criticisms. Take a break from social media.
Was there a moment when you realized your words no longer needed validation from others?
I don't know whether there was a moment, but for example, now when I go to work, I'm always nervous about my work. People don't believe it, and they always say, "Oh, you don't get nervous nowadays." And I say, "No. It's good to be nervous, because then you're not overconfident, you're more careful." And then now people are saying, "Oh, you have Yasmin Yusuff? Oh, okay, no problem. But this is not true, and I don't like that, And I say, no, don't say no problem, because there will be a problem. There might be a problem." I think the moment, I mean, I won awards, best DJ and things like that. Maybe not exact moment, but just a point in time where people started respecting me more. I think that was it, and people appreciate your achievements because I've had many achievements. And what I'm very proud of is the fact that I have raised the bar in many areas, and broken many barriers. So that's important for me. But I think an exact moment, I'm not sure. Maybe I just woke up and I was like, forget about everything else. I'm just going to be me. It could have been. I'm very influenced by my mother's philosophies because I remember when I was doing very well and I was telling her something good happened and she said, oh, look at the head. You may not get out the door. Be careful. The head is becoming too big. Yeah. Or she will always put us down on the ground. Always, because she will always say, what's important to you? Is it this admiration, adulation, fans, or is it that when you get home and you close your front door, you're happy in your house? So what's important to you? So I have to say thank you to my mother, really.
It's a nice discussion you said toward your mother. Ellen Daly was with us, was saying the same thing. The parents were keeping her down
Yes.
from all what she did. And I think it's important to be able to relate to it.
And when people approach me and I'll say, I'm just a human being, It's like when I got my title, my mother said, you have a name, So I always tell people, I have a name,
And how do you practice self-love when life or work becomes demanding?
You need time and you need to appreciate yourself and your achievements. I'm actually very critical of myself. And of course, as I get older, physically, that's even more difficult because, the wrinkles and sagging and I'm putting on weight and all that. So I'm very critical of all that. So I am not someone who goes, oh yeah, it's age, I have to accept it. No. I will fight all the way. I have my own measurement of what I want to be, how successful I want to be, how I want to look, and I make sure that I work to keep that. Yeah, so that's, I think, how I value myself. I have this, you should always try to be the best, and never say you are the best, because once you are the best, there's only one way to go, So I am always trying to be the best, or I want to be the best, yeah. So that's how I appreciate myself, because that's very personal. It's so personal. You can't have other people say, oh, you're the best, but only you will know if you're the best or not.
This is a really nice philosophy to keep.
Yes, learning. Everything is about learning, and improving. On the way here, I was heard somebody talking about AI, and I said, oh, something else to learn.
And what have you learned about setting boundaries as an act of self-respect rather than selfishness?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Boundaries. I think that you need to look after yourself and give yourself time. I mean, there was a point in my life when I would just say yes to everything, and then I go crazy because I don't have enough time, or I can't be organized, or even worse, I make a mistake. That's, So now I'm much more clear about what I will do and what I won't do, how far I will go for something, what's so important to me. Yeah, so I never thought about the fact that I have actually any boundaries, because usually I'm just like, okay, whatever. Or actually my motto is pay me and I'll do it, So now I realize that I don't need to do everything. And I don't need to be jealous of people who get more work. Or when ASEAN was here, and so many people asked me, so did you do anything for ASEAN? I said, no, not even one event. I said, yeah, but I opened the F1 circuit, and I did the SEA Games, I did all these other things. So I think you need to appreciate your successes and not want to be greedy. I think that's where my boundaries are, is the difference between being happy in what you have or being greedy. You need to have a good balance. And I think I've arrived where I am by being good at what I do and not being greedy. I think then you get recognized. You know, it's better to have one big diamond than a lot of little imitations. Or one good Bedat and no imitations.
And if you could speak to your youngest version, you know, who's the one who just come for the first time on stage, what would you tell her about her worth?
A younger version of me?
Yes.
Stop thinking about what everybody is saying about you. I think, you know, that was, well, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. It's a part of growing up, but I was so conscious of what people were saying about me. I was so conscious. And I think that I shouldn't have been, and I may have grown a little more if I had done that, instead of trying to fit into everybody's little image of me, you know. I mean, I couldn't even go into a department store and buy underwear because there would be people looking, you know, things like that. So I think definitely I would tell people, and I tell people now, younger people, you know, don't worry about what people are saying about you. Believe in yourself, have a goal, aim for your goal, and work hard. That, of course, you have to do, you know. Nothing comes for free. Very few people in this world win the lottery. So the rest of us, you know, succeed by hard work. So I always tell people that. And I would have told myself that too. And I would have told myself, don't cut out people who are important to you. Make time. You know how we always say when we meet people, hey, we must have coffee, or oh, let's have lunch. And then 2 years later, they pass away. And recently it's been happening to me. So now when somebody says, let's have coffee, I say, okay, when? And I do it, you know? And I think those are the little things in life that should be important. Yeah, people, friends are important.
And you know, you witness and you shape Malaysian culture across decades now.
Yes, many decades.
Only few. What part of your own journey taught you the deepest lesson about loving yourself?
I think realizing at the end of the day, I did a good job. I think that's what it is, you know? Of course, everybody has disasters and fiascos and mistakes, but at the end of the day, you can look in the mirror and say, you know, well done, you did a good job, you did good, people have a good picture of you, and hopefully they will say nice things about you at your funeral, you know? I think that's probably the most important thing, is to realize, to believe in yourself. I think believe in yourself all the way. Confidence without being overconfident. I think that's important.